You're not lazy, you're not broken, and you haven't lost your willpower. If you're over 40, gaining weight despite doing everything right, it's time that we talk about what's really going on. I want to share a story of one of my clients. We're going to call her Sarah. She was eating healthy, walking 10,000 steps a day, doing intense workouts, and still couldn't shed the weight, especially around her midsection. She felt exhausted, frustrated, and really like her body was betraying her. Does it sound familiar? Here's the truth. Perimenopause shifts your hormones dramatically. Estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, and insulin are all doing a new dance. And you're not crazy for feeling like your old methods just don't work anymore. What we did in our 20s does not work in our 40s. When your hormones are out of balance, your body holds on to fat, especially around the midsection. This means you can eat less and work out more and still see the scale go up. This can be so discouraging. You feel like you're doing everything right, eating healthy food, exercising more than ever, and still the weight is packing on, especially around the midsection. Well, my friend, today I want to bring you hope and encouragement as you navigate this time of your life. Plus, I want to share with you the number one thing you can do right now to start that will make a difference. This isn't about willpower. It's about changes that are happening inside of your body. It's about changes that we all go through as females and being aware of those changes and giving your body what it needs to balance and come back into alignment so that it's not throwing all these crazy symptoms at you. You see, the foods we eat can irritate our gut lining, spike our blood sugar, and send our immune system into overdrive. What that does is it creates a low-grade ongoing inflammation inside of the body, which then becomes a constant stress signal to your body. Inflammation, when it's high, it increases cortisol, your stress hormone. Well, elevated cortisol leads to more belly fat, poor sleep, anxiety, burnout, hormonal imbalances. All of those symptoms. One thing that you can do right now is to cut back on inflammatory foods. Wheat, sugar, dairy are all highly inflammatory. How this works is when you eat processed foods, sugar, inflammatory oils, wheat, dairy, your body reacts like it's under attack, activating your immune system and raising your cortisol. Well, chronic cortisol spikes equals fat storage, especially around the belly. High cortisol also disrupts sleep, increases anxiety, and breaks down muscle. So over time, cortisol can suppress your progesterone, also worsening PMS or perimenopause symptoms. The other thing that happens is sugary and refined foods cause blood sugar spikes, which forces your body to release more insulin. Chronically high insulin equals, again, more fat storage, especially around the midsection. Insulin resistance makes it hard to lose weight, even on a calorie deficit. And high insulin levels can also raise androgens, which worsen symptoms like acne, hair loss, or irregular periods. And then also, inflammatory foods affect your liver and your gut, which are responsible for breaking down and eliminating excess estrogen out of your body. So if estrogen isn't detoxified properly, it builds up, causing estrogen dominance. This throws off the estrogen progesterone ratio, leading to mood swings, heavy periods, breast tenderness, fatigue, weight gain, all symptoms of insulin being off. And one more thing that it does, inflammatory foods, especially from gluten and processed foods, can suppress your thyroid function or trigger an autoimmune thyroid issue like Hashimoto's. You see, your thyroid controls your metabolism, your energy, your mood, and digestion. And when it slows down, everything slows down, and weight loss becomes nearly impossible. For years, I had low thyroid and didn't even realize it, but couldn't figure out why I couldn't lose the weight. But I was eating inflammatory foods, which was contributing to my low thyroid. See, inflammatory foods act like internal stressors, and they keep your body in a constant fight or flight state. And that's what leads to these hormone imbalances, the weight gain, fatigue, and mood swings, and your disrupted sleep, not being able to fall asleep or not being able to go back to sleep when you do wake up. So the number one thing that you can do for weight loss and to help your body come into balance is to stop eating inflammatory foods and replace them with whole, real food. Meat, fish, chicken, all the fruits and vegetables, and healthy fats. Focusing on protein, I like to say a hand size of protein at every meal is a good way to think of it. Healthy fats, a thumb size of healthy fat is a good way to think of it. And fiber at every meal, half your plate of fibrous vegetables is just an amazing way to support your body because that is what's going to make the biggest difference. Back to my client Sarah, she started focusing less on dieting and more on balancing her hormones, and she dropped 8 pounds in 6 weeks without starving herself. So, if this sounds like your story, you're not alone and you don't have to keep guessing. In the next episode, I'm going to explain the exact hormones that are keeping you stuck. But if you're ready to get answers now, not later, and want to know exactly what foods to eat, head over to wholebynutrition.com, WHOLEBY nutrition.com, my website, and apply for my private hormone testing and coaching program. This is where healing starts. Because, my friend, it is time for you to be healthy, healed, to have the energy so you can design the life you love.